The Earth File. Chapter 18, The Weight of Power. Observation No. 6. Location, Earth. Subject, power. Question: is power a privilege or a responsibility? The morning began with another summit. World leaders gathered beneath bright lights. Flags stood side by side. Cameras flashed endlessly. Every handshake became tomorrow's headline. Every speech promised a better future. Every nation spoke of peace outside the conference hall. Ordinary people hurried to work. Children walked to school. Nurses began another shift. Farmers entered their fields before sunrise. No cameras followed them, yet the world depended on them just as much. A reporter asked one of the leaders, "What is your greatest responsibility?" The answer was carefully prepared. It spoke of prosperity, security, growth, unity. The applause arrived exactly on time. I switched off the television, not because the words were wrong, because I wondered, how often do we measure leaders by what they say, instead of what they quietly choose when no one is watching? That afternoon, I visited an elementary school. The principal greeted every child by name. One little boy stood alone near the entrance. His backpack had torn open. Books were scattered across the ground before any teacher could reach him. Another child knelt beside him without a word. He helped gather every notebook, then both children walked inside together. No one told him to help. No one offered a reward. No one applauded. Yet in that small moment, I witnessed leadership, not authority, leadership. On the way home, the bus stopped suddenly. An elderly woman struggled to remain standing before the driver could speak. A teenager removed his headphones and offered his seat. The woman smiled. "Thank you." The boy simply nodded and stood for the rest of the journey again. No audience, no recognition, only a choice. Perhaps power begins much earlier than we imagine. Perhaps it begins the first moment we realize our actions affect another person. That evening, the news returned. Another government had fallen. Another election had divided families. Another nation hoped the next leader would solve problems the previous one had left behind. Watching the debates, I noticed something curious. Everyone wanted better leaders. Very few asked how to become better citizens. Perhaps leadership has never belonged only to those elected. Perhaps every society quietly elects itself, one decision at a time, as darkness settled outside. I remembered a gardener I had met months before. He had planted flowers just before winter. I had asked him why. He answered, "Because spring will inherit what I plant today." Power, I suddenly realized, works the same way. Every decision becomes someone else's tomorrow. I opened my notebook. Observation No. 6. Humanity often imagines power as something held by presidents, kings, CEOs, or generals. Yet every day, parents shape children, teachers shape minds, friends shape one another, employers shape families, writers shape ideas. One sentence can inspire, one sentence can divide. Power does not begin at the top. It begins the moment another life is influenced by ours. The true measure of power is not how many people follow us. It is how many people become stronger because we were there. Before closing the notebook, I wrote one final line. The greatest leaders are often those whose names history never records, because they spent their lives building people instead of monuments. I looked out the window. The city lights stretched toward the horizon in thousands of homes. Someone was comforting a frightened child. Someone was teaching. Someone was forgiving. Someone was listening. No office, no title, no ceremony. Yet tomorrow, because of those quiet acts, the world would be a little different. Power had never belonged only to those who stood on stages. Sometimes, it lived in the people who simply chose to lift another human being. End of chapter 18.